Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Dio here. Today we're going to be unboxing Skullpanda, the Paradox vinyl figure series. And the Paradox is a recent 2025 vinyl figure series for Skullpanda. It features very pinkish hues, but in very abstract looks. But we'll take a look at them once we take a look at the box. But yeah, I got 10 boxes to unbox today, and they're starting to slip, so I'm going to put them down. I did get these 10 boxes a little bit separately at different times, but I haven't unboxed any of them yet, so they could be duplicates. Hopefully not too many. I know there are 12 figures in this series, and 10, there's probably a slight chance of having duplicates, but we shall see. And here's a look at the box, Skullpanda, the Paradox. It's very, very monotone. As you can see, it's very kind of this one shade of pink, and that reflects the same for the figures too. You can see all figures here. There are 12 of them in the series, plus one secret as always. And the secret is one of 144, I believe. Yes, that's correct. And the figures in the series are very, very abstract looking. It's kind of features Skullpanda in different poses, doing almost different activities or in different, almost like gravity. So it's very, I don't even know how to describe it. It's abstract, definitely. The thing about this series is that there are pairs. So these two are a pair, these two are kind of a pair, these two are a pair. And sometimes a pair are representing opposite things, but sometimes they also kind of tell a complete story with the two of them. So as you can tell up here, we have Out of the Mud and the Jewel Cage. So one is more about coming out, and one's more about being entrapped. This one is Spin a Cocoon and being a butterfly. So that's pretty much the storytelling of starting as a cocoon and then being a butterfly. Over here, we have Diving in and Flying High. So those two are opposite pairs, where one is going up and one's going down. There's also the Hold and the Bond. That's also a pair. The Hold being almost kind of like suffocation and the Bond being kind of free. Down here, we have the external echoes and the internal dialogue. That kind of self-explanatory with its name. One is more about being kind of extroverted in terms of how you express yourself, and that one's more about a little bit more introverted in what you're thinking. And last but not least, we have the asymmetrical balance and the cyclical path. That one's a little bit more abstract. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what that means. But if you know what it means, let me know down in the comments. And the ones I really want for this series are probably the last two. The ones I actually don't know what it means. I just like the look of the figure. It's very non-traditional, with this one especially being like tilted on an axis. Aside from those, I do like the Diving in and Flying High. Those you could tell are actual opposites, almost like the figure is flipped in reverse. So without further ado, let's unbox box number one. What do we have here? Oh, I think it's the butterfly one. Box number one is Being a Butterfly. Okay, these figures are gorgeous. So I did not realize this whole figure feels almost like a stone. It has that stone-like texture that Popmart usually reserves for more like, stone-like pieces or looks. But yeah, interesting that they made this very stone-like feeling, especially this outer dress. The base is also very like rough and gritty feeling, almost like sandpaper, honestly. But yeah, I think the entire figure feels like that. Maybe the legs are a little bit smoother, but everything else is very rough feeling, which I'm surprised with because it's like a butterfly theme, so you wouldn't think it'd be so rough feeling. But yeah, look at this figure. It's very, very detailed. I love it. I love this butterfly in the back of Skullpanda's head. And then there's like a lot of little butterfly motifs. And of course that makes sense, being a butterfly. And under this wet dress that Skullpanda is wearing, you can see even more like silver butterflies there. And it was a little smoother in texture, but yeah, overall, I love the airy and light feeling of this figure. And she has really nice like color palette too, with this light, kind of, not even baby pink, it's like a gray, almost like white pink. And then it's very contrasting with the eyes, which has two different pupils. One is a solid one, looks like, and the other one almost has like a sideways heart to it. But yeah, I love this a lot more than expected. So it's really beautiful. This like sculpt is amazing. I feel like if there was like a 400% of this, I would consider getting it. And my stand set up right here. Put this one right up here. And now for box number 2. Oh wow. And box number 2 is the hold. Okay, this one is also very gorgeous. I love how lightweight feeling it is. You can see the base on the bottom. It's just holding up this kind of ball pivot point that just lifts this figure up. I guess it's kind of like holding the figure up. I'm not sure that's the right interpretation for it, but that's what I'm getting at. You can see Skullpanda is almost, like I said, being held up by this lightweight, I don't know, fabric? It's hard to say what it is. It's just so abstract. I love it. I love all these abstract figures that make you kind of think a little bit. Yeah, there's something that's on Skullpanda's foot. Looks like same of this, more of this material. It could be like fabric. It could be a flower. I don't know. It's flowing like fabric, so that's what I assume it is. And Skullpanda here has eyes closed, kind of almost reaching up towards something. And there's also a little motif on the back of the head or the helmet. You can see this similar like uplifting motif. And it is kind of in like I feel like it's half painted and then half of it is like a relief. So it's actually sunken into a figure. Whereas this part is more painted and this final little symbol right here is sunken into a figure. But yeah, it's also cool that you can see between right here where the fabric folds up and you can see the back of Skullpanda. And there's like a bandage that's wrapped around. And you can also see the bandage going through the front too, around the body. But overall, yeah, I'm loving this series so far. Honestly, I should have unboxed this a lot earlier. I got these a while ago and they've just been sitting there and yeah, looking forward to seeing what else we get. And now for box number 3. Oh, I think this is the opposite of the hold. Box number 3 is the bond. So this one is the opposite of the hold. And now that I look at it, I think I got the two interpretation mixed up. It looks like the bond is actually pulling Skullpanda down. You could see how it's wrapped around the foot down here and then goes around. And you could tell Skullpanda is being pulled down by the hair. It's very like lifted up, so it looks like, yeah, being pulled down, that's how the gravity works for the hair. But yeah, overall, this one's really amazing too. I just love how like light feeling these are. It's has a really nice silhouette when you look at it from anywhere, honestly. Like very light base and then a little bit more heavy on the top. I also love how the hair turns into these kind of, I don't know, I always want to say butterflies, but I don't like butterflies. They look like ribbons actually. Yeah, they look like ribbons tied to the hair. Or her hair, or the hair is becoming ribbons. You can see these ribbons on the helmet too, on different sides, even in the back right here. There's one right here. There's also another motif in the back of the helmet, and it is, okay, so like the previous one, those line work is painted on, but there's a little more solid looking motif. It's actually recessed in, so. And I think at the very end, if we get the pairs for them, we could take a look at them together as a pair too. And now for box number 4. Oh wow, this is amazing. Figure number 4 is Diving In. I think this might be one of my favorite figures Popmart has made so far, at least in the top. So when I showed you it earlier, it was actually upside down. So Skullpanda is pretty much diving upside down here. And the way that the figure foot sits in the stand is that little ball point on the helmet just sits right into this little ball point right in the stand. It's like a little snug fit in there. And the head just rests on this little wave on the bottom. But yeah, I don't even know how to describe this. It's really cool. The Skullpanda is upside down, as you can tell, and diving into the ocean, and this disc is kind of like the ocean line, except the fish are out of the ocean, swimming up here. They almost look like clouds, kind of swimming around Skullpanda's foot or legs. And the legs are kind of becoming water up here. And you can see kind of the wave sculpture all around. And the legs end up being less of that sandpapery feeling and more like translucent, smooth feeling. You can tell, you can kind of see through the legs a little bit. And the fish are very smooth and glossy. And they just kind of swirl around. Wow, this is really, really cool. And Skullpanda here has a very, very light kind of colorway. It's like a light blue and a little bit of pink too. And you can see kind of similar swirls on the balls of the helmet up here. Yeah, you can probably see that. And then also the back of the helmet is sculpted with that similar swirl pattern, you could tell. But yeah, this is amazing. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's just amazing for me. Definitely in my probably top 10 figure of Popmart for this year. Well, I only started this year, so top 10 so far. And now for box number 5. This is one of the dialogue ones. Box number 5, we have the internal dialogue. This one's really cool. They all have that very like airy, light feeling propelled up. Skullpanda is sitting on this pedestal with this ring behind, and you can see the back of this ring, and you can kind of see a little bit of detailing, but you can see it more right here. This almost looks like an eye, and then some circling detailing around, and it's see-through or open on half of it. The eyes on this figure are closed, and the hands are being held out. I wonder if this like connects somehow with the other figure, because that's the external something. Maybe we'll get it and we can see. But overall, this one's not as overly complex as the other one so far. It is still very beautiful. I love the cloak. The helmet is more of a cloak here in this figure. You can see in the back, there's more like rippled detailing. And then it's also a cape that Skullpanda is wearing. But yeah, overall, this one's not as crazy as the previous one. So hence my excitement isn't as wowed. But I still like it. I still like it a lot. I'm curious as to see what it looks like with the other one too. So hopefully we'll get the other one. And now for box number 6. Oh, and we got a duplicate. This is again the hold. So I'll put it back in. So if you're interested in the hold, it'll be on my shop. And now for box number 7. What's that? Cyclical Path, I think. Box number 7 is the Cyclical Path. And this is another one that I also love. So this figure just sits on the stand at like a pivot. So it's not really, it's just slanted right here, but it doesn't snap in, so you could kind of turn it to see the figure in all angles. But it's just this pivot that's holding the figure in. And it's really cool, it's very different. Skullpanda is being kind of almost squished or smoldered between two of these discs. And these discs has very, very ornate patterns on them. You can see at the top and on the bottom too. And they are also in that gritty texture. And actually there's two different textures on here. The disc has a texture on it, but then within the disc you can see kind of these little swirls. Inside there's an even rougher texture on them. But yeah, overall it's really cool. And if you look in, you can see Skullpanda kind of sleeping almost. Not very bothered by what's happening. And also Skullpanda is kind of floating. You can see that the body isn't resting on the bottom disc, but is resting on the top disc instead. So that's another cool detail too. Because you would think that the figure would be on the bottom disc, but it's not. Yeah, here's a look at it without the stand. And can you stand this on the opposite ends? Yeah, you actually can. So you could display this figure upside down too. Which is cool. Wait, is that how it's supposed to be displayed? Oh, that is how it's supposed to be displayed. I'm just a little tired. So that is the right way to display. But you could display it upside down too. So good to know, right? And now for box number 8. We got the other one. Number 8, we have the external echoes. So Skullpanda here has the eyes open and is looking up, whereas the other one was looking down and eyes closed. So this one's more external feeling, very open to what's going on and aware to the surroundings, whereas the other one's very internal feeling. And it's very similar to the other one where Skullpanda is also sitting on another pedestal. This one's a little less blue in colorway and more pink, or like kind of like a beigey pink. There's also another disc behind, and this one seems to have a little bit more detail, or detail that I like at least. You can see how there's these like spikes on half of it, and then a lot more circular details and more engraved patterns. And on the back, you can see through it a little bit, but I don't think it's meant to be displayed to the back. But yeah, overall it's really nice. I also really like the kind of carving in the hair. You can see that those line work and the patterns. It's very fitting. I don't know. This whole series is very, very beautiful. There's also some silver elements going down the collar of this dress that's being worn. It looks like a dress with like a huge collar going up. Also, there's two different designs on the eyes. One is kind of solid, and the other one has this almost like an 8 figure, but it's not completely closed. And we have 2 more to go, so this is box number 9. I think this is the cocoon one that goes with the butterfly. Box number 9 is Spin the Cocoon. This one's also very beautiful. I wasn't expecting it to be so detailed, but I really enjoy it. I swear, the silhouettes of these figures are amazing. Here, Skullpanda is kind of laying down, hands over I don't know, it looks like a leaf. I guess a cocoon maybe. And then there's kind of like butterflies starting to form around the figure. And there's these almost patterns, these waves. They look, I wouldn't call them thorns. Look a little thorny, but I guess it's the beginning of a cocoon. And this cocoon is spinning around, so eventually Skullpanda becomes a butterfly, as we saw in the first figure. But yeah, overall this one's really nice. It's not as airy as feeling as the other ones. It's much more grounded to the bottom. But I mean, that's I guess part of the story where a cocoon is more grounded to the bottom, and then when it becomes a butterfly, it's more airy and lifted up. There's also really nice detailing in the back too. You can see this silver kind of coloring detailing. It's a little bit of shimmer to the figure. But overall, very detailed still. I love the movement that it feels. You can feel like swirling around. And last but not least, we have box number 10. Which one is this one, actually? Oh, I think this is the opposite to the diving in one. Box number 10 is flying high. Okay, this one you could definitely tell is the opposite of the other one. It has that kind of like disc-like in the center, that form. And Skullpanda here is more like a bird. You can see the feathers going around the helmet, going up. And this kind of like a, I don't know what, like a tree, but it kind of reminds me of like a vortex, like a wind, almost like a tornado, but it's very natural feeling. And yeah, you can see actually birds. These are birds floating around. So maybe, I don't think it's a tree. It could represent wind maybe. It looks very rooted, but the base looks like it's almost like a beginning of a tornado or something. So I'm gonna go with it's wind because there's birds all around, and Skullpanda is also pretty much a bird. You could kind of look inside. The arms have these kind of wings going around it. So very bird-like, like I said. Makes sense for a figure called Flying High. Another beautiful piece. And the eyes are both kind of like a solid blue color. So now that we unboxed them all, we could take a look at the ones that we got the pairs of. So let's look at the obvious two. Here's the dialogue ones, the external, internal. So here are the two as a pair. You can tell the opposite color. This one's more of a blue and this one's more of a pink. And then you can really see the opposite. The external, you could tell, is definitely more like alert, awake, eyes wide open and looking up. Whereas the internal is much more, you know, sleeping, eyes closed, reserved. I also like the posture difference too. I feel like the external is much more ready to be, you know, going out and ready to take on the world. Whereas the internal one is a little bit more slouched, a little bit more relaxed. So that's a little cool little detail that they added too. As for the two, I don't think anything really fits together. I'm not even sure if they're on the same level. Let me try right here. Yeah, I guess if they're standing, they could be back to back. But I'm not sure there's any coordination between the two rings that are behind them. It would be cool if there were, like, it made a pattern or something, but I don't really see any correlation between the two rings. Yeah, nothing really interesting between the two. So I guess they're meant to be displayed kind of next to each other for just position. And they don't really, it's not like duality of image of reality where they kind of connect together. These just are meant to be separated and different and kind of displayed apart. Next, we have the hold and the bond. These two are a little bit harder to tell that they're a pair because they're very different in terms of their like stance and pose. The hold is kind of, like I said, being held up by something, whereas the bond is being bounded to something. So it's very, you could kind of see where they're coming from, but I think separately these figures can be displayed on their own. It works. Whereas some of the other ones, like the previous two, you could tell there's a connection between the two. But I think these two, it's less of a connection. So it's also good that you don't need both of them if you want to collect them. So I might end up just keeping the hold, but not the bond. Next, we have the cocoon and butterfly. So these two, I mean, I guess you could tell there is a story between them with all the butterfly motifs, but this one has No, there's still a few butterfly motifs, whereas this really like butterfly. And these two tell more of a story where this becomes this, so it's not as apparent that they're connected together unless you knew the names. But overall, I think I like the butterfly one more. I just love the kind of feel and look of it, whereas this is a little bit heavier. So I much prefer that lighter, airier, floating kind of look as opposed to this heavier, grounded one. But they're still both very beautiful though. And last but not least, we have diving in and flying high. Yeah, I honestly really prefer the diving in figure more. This is probably like the best figure in the series, at least the ones out of the ones that we've gotten. But you could definitely tell that they are a pair, seeing as they have that little circle center ring around them. And they have kind of like opposite silhouettes, which is really cool. Definitely prefer the diving in one more. I just love the look and feel of it, and being upside down, you don't expect it as much. And it's very like artsy abstract. I love the fish kind of wrapping around, almost looks like clouds wrapping around the sky. And this one's much more grounded and rooted. Maybe that's the theme of it too. This is like the ocean, but also like the sky feeling, whereas this kind of the wind, but also the earth feeling, because it still reminds me of tree branches down here. So thank you for joining me in today's unboxing. Remember to like, hype, and subscribe if you're enjoying what you're watching, and hit the bell icon for notification for future videos. Let me know what you think of this series. I mean, I knew I liked them, but I was just kind of sleeping on them a little bit because I had them for a while and just haven't had the drive to unbox them. But now that I did, I'm like totally in love with this one, definitely. And this one pretty much comes second. I really like how different it is compared to usual blind box figures. Let me know what you think of this series. I think this is definitely a step up from the previous Skullpanda series. Also kind of like a hot take, I feel like Skullpanda figures are a lot better than Skullpanda plush pendants. I know everyone goes a little crazy over Skullpanda plush pendants, but I think the figures are more like beautiful and more conceptually abstract and intriguing to me. If I have to pick, I would definitely pick figures over plush pendants for Skullpanda, at least. Remember to check out the video description down below to links to my socials and my shop where some of these will be sold at. So until the next box, bye.